First, let me extend our condolences to the family of Mr. Chambers. Next, I want to share the timeline of events that happened following or involving members of the Sheriff's Office on June 9, 2016, involving Mr. Chambers. On June 9th, Mr. Chambers was arrested by an Oklahoma City police officer who, according to press reports, required the aid of two citizens to control Mr. Chambers and place him in custody. At 7:11 a.m., Oklahoma City Police transported Mr. Chambers into the Sally Port of the Oklahoma County Jail. At 7:15, Mr. Chambers was brought inside the jail in the pat-down area where he was searched for weapons and other contraband as is routine procedure. At 7:18 a.m., detention officers walked Mr. Chambers to the medical screening area. During this process, Mr. Chambers becomes non-compliant, and during this time he bites his lip or tongue, which began bleeding in his mouth. A spit hood was then placed over Mr. Chambers' head to keep the blood from being slung on employees. Medical personnel from Armor Corrections completed their examination and determined that Mr. Chambers was not medically cleared to be booked into the jail. At 7:28 a.m., detention officers escort Mr. Chambers back to the pat-down area and wait for an IMSA ambulance to arrive. At 7:31 a.m., Mr. Chambers goes to his knees while being supported by two detention officers. At 7:36 a.m., Mr. Chambers lays on the ground, and during this time he is also being non-compliant. At 7:45 a.m., a third detention officer arrives to help keep Mr. Chambers from thrashing around. At 7:49 a.m., Oklahoma City Fire Department firefighters arrive, and 30 seconds later, IMSA paramedics arrive to assist Mr. Chambers. That was 34 minutes after Mr. Chambers actually entered the jail. At 7:54 a.m., IMSA paramedics place another spit hood on Mr. Chambers. At 8:02 a.m., IMSA personnel place Mr. Chambers on a gurney, and at 8:04 a.m., IMSA and Oklahoma City fire personnel escort Mr. Chambers out of the jail. That's 49 minutes after Mr. Chambers entered the jail. I watched today's press conference by the attorney representing the family. Even though I probably should not be meeting with the media, since litigation has been filed, I am tired of the baseless and untrue comments and innuendos being made about the Oklahoma County Jail and the dedicated public servants who work here, and even against the advice of my attorney, I must answer some of the statements made today. I am very offended by comments about this being a racial incident. This case has absolutely nothing to do with race, as our employees, yes, even including some African American jail employees, did their job on June the 9th in a very professional manner. Mr. Chambers was never booked into the custody of the Sheriff's Office or into the jail. At no time was Mr. Chambers struck, punched, nor was his head ever slammed against anything by any member of the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office or by any member of the Oklahoma City Police Department while he was on jail property. The blood described by the attorney came from Mr. Chambers biting his lip or tongue. That is why the spit hood was placed on Mr. Chambers to keep it from being slung on our employees. During the entire time Mr. Chambers was in the jail facility, he was awake, talking, and moving. This entire incident is on video from at least 5 different camera angles. I have watched the video, and I'm very proud of the manner in which Mr. Chambers was treated by our employees. There was no attempt to hide anything from anyone because our employees did absolutely nothing wrong. It's all on video. The men and women who work for the sheriff's office and in this jail are highly trained, training that meets and exceeds state and national standards set by the Oklahoma Jail Standards and by the American Correctional Association. The Oklahoma County Jail is one of only 2 jails in the state of Oklahoma that has earned national accreditation by the National Commission on Correctional Health Care and by the American Corrections Association. Our employees are husbands and wives, sons and daughters, single parents, college students, retirees, and just good employees who are dedicated to their jobs and who have pride in the difficult jobs they do for below average pay every day. They should not be subjected to false allegations. This is yet another baseless attack on law enforcement by those who do not know or do not have the facts. This case will be resolved in court, where we will present the facts and tell the truth and watch the criminal justice system work. Together, the proud men and women of the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office will continue our work every day, protecting and serving the citizens of Oklahoma County. Thank you.